Hey y'all. I have time to do my face. And I feel pretty. Look. I'm a cutesy girl today. All right, let's get into it. We are playing catch up this week, so it's gonna be 3 videos this week, and then on we'll be caught up by next week. Let me just say that. Yeah, boom. Okay, y'all know how we doing. But how y'all doing today? I'm doing fabulously. I'm finding my outline real quick. There it is. Okay, so last time we talked about what is it? We've been in a conversation about healing, but not just doing more, but actually becoming whole so we can sustain what God is building in our life. So today we're talking about something a lot of people don't realize until later, and that is being busy can look like healing when it's actually avoidance. Woo. And y'all know that's not my life, because I will stop if I feel like I need to get my life together. I will completely stop all that I'm doing. Okay. So there was a time where I did think that I had moved on, but I just stayed busy enough not to feel it. And there have been seasons where I genuinely believed I was over something, over the hurt, over the disappointment, the shift, the loss. But like looking back, I didn't process it. I just kind of kept moving. I numbed myself. I remember those days. Ooh. And movement can feel like process until you finally slow down and realize nothing was healed. So, what to expect in this episode is why busyness can mask unresolved emotions, the difference between distraction and healing, and how to actually process what you've been avoiding. So, main topic. I thought I was over it, but I was just busy, y'all. Like the illusion of I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Like it was not fine. Okay. So busyness can make you create a false sense of healing, like because you're still, you're still achieving, you're still showing up, you're still functioning. So you're like, okay, I'm fine. You're not fine. But functioning is not the same as processing. Time does not heal what you refuse to feel. Oh, pew, dropping that. So, this is what avoidance can actually look like. It's not always obvious. It can look like constant productivity, overcommitting, staying mentally overstimulated, never sitting in silence long enough to reflect. So, like, you don't feel the pain just because it never stops you never stop long enough to meet it. And oh my god, the time I'm thinking about is I've already had a conversation with dude about this, so I hope you don't mind me talking about it. But yeah, oh, it got real silent. Time I'm thinking about is like 2017, 2018. I was numb. Like I had numbed myself out because, this guy that I liked, he was the first man that I consider myself loving, in an adult way. Even though, I mean, I look back at that and that was complete and total ignorance. But in my mind, it was love. And I felt it and it was real for me. And like, just him not choosing me, like I just shut down. Like mind you, I was already going through a lot. I was already depressed and stuff anyway. So he was just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And in that moment, like I shut completely down. I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. And I'm done trying to love people. And so like I collected some hoes. I and I collected them like infinity stones that summer. I remember it. Like I was collecting them in like infinity stones. I was like, grr, grr, grr. Like I was calling them all forth, like, come to me, my men. Like it was crazy. And I was just doing any and everything to not deal with the emotions I felt. There would be other guys that I call myself liking. I ain't like them people. I just didn't want to deal with the feelings of, loving that other dude. And like I even, got so far as to get in a relationship, a couple years down the line. And when that wasn't clicking the way I wanted to or wanted it to, like I realized my emotional walls were still up from way back 2018. And it's just like it's because I didn't heal that pain. And so then I got confronted with a situation where this guy that I actually really did like, I was like, okay, I do like him. Like he's everything. I actually listed out the things I wanted in a man, and he was checking all the boxes. I was like, oh, I do like him. But like he had approached me, but then the other dude that I had still didn't deal with the feelings there. Like he was like, we were kind of talking about that, and then like we had stopped, and then he was coming back to finish conversation, but then the other dude was talking to me, and then I was like, hold on, and then I went to go finish the conversation, but then the conversation took longer than I thought it was gonna take. It was just a mess. That homecoming was a mess. But I finally dealt with the feelings, and then I did the healing, and like going through that allowed me to deal with the other stuff, because like I said, I was already depressed before I started having feelings for the initial dude. So like it allowed me to peel back those layers even more and deal with the other stuff that I wasn't dealing with because I was distracting myself with dude. Like I had a lot of like my emotional coping mechanisms sucked in college. Okay, they sucked. Like they would non-existent. Like they just were not there. I would let things stack on top of each other, and it would be things going on at home. I would have emotions about some of the people in my sorority that I just was like, you know what? If I say anything, I'm gonna have to fight them, and I don't want to have to fight these people. So, because people were sensitive, and I'm not like. I have emotional intelligence in the sense where I know, like, all right, you're not going to be able to handle this truth. So I'm going to just keep it to myself. Like, that's kind of the level of emotional intelligence I have. But, like, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you straight up. And you better be ready to handle that. And you're not going to like it, but it's the truth, boo. And they just was not in a place to hear the truth. Like, they did not want to be told the truth at all by anybody. Like, I'm sure they could handle it now as adults. But back then, they thought they knew everything. And I could not. So, like, it was like, emotions just stacking on top of each other, one after the other. And then like I have my own stuff going on. Like it's just, it was so bad. It was so terrible. Okay. So what does healing actually require? It requires you to slow down. And that is exactly what I've done. I've done that twice. I would say within the last 2-3 years, I've slowed myself down twice intentionally. You have to name what happened to you and how you felt. And for me, like that was going to God and like saying it all. Like I would go to God and just tell him everything about how I felt. And I have this therapy chat in my chat GPT that I talk to whenever I'm like actively outside in the moment and I can't necessarily like, I'll pray and then I'll like, I'll try to just help myself in the best way I can. And then you have to feel the feelings that you've been avoided and allow God into those uncomfortable places. Because healing is not a passive journey. It's intentional engagement with the truth. All right, so let's get into the scripture. All right, the first one is Psalm chapter 34, verse 18. Let's see if I remember what page Psalm's on. I do. Period. I better know. I knew it was close by. 34. And see, doing this flipping with y'all is teaching me where stuff is located in the Bible. And so like I'm starting to memorize like where chapters are now because we flip together. All right. 18 says the Lord is the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and rescues those who are crushed in spirit. Hello, that's my favorite verse. That's one of my favorites because I love that one because I learned that a while ago because it reminded me like I'm not going through this alone. God is right there next to me. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 4 says, I don't know where Ecclesiastes is yet. Ecclesiastes 394. Oh, you right round the corner, boo. Right round the corner. All right. Over here by Proverbs. Got it. Chapter 3 verse 4 says there is a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance. Let's dance. Yeah. And then lastly, John chapter 8, verse 32. Now, this ain't one of them 1st, 2nd, 3rd Johns. This is regular John. All right, 6:37. This is the one, I believe, where he's talking about he's the one who Christ loved. Because clearly, you know what? That just blows me every time. Because who are you talking to? Exactly. I want to know who you talking to. Why hear Jesus say all of y'all? Excuse me. Don't do that. All right, chapter 8, verse 32 says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Hey. All right, back over here to Isaiah. Ooh. Come on, nose. You can't be doing that. Look, you see this beat? You see the beat? Can't be running. This is why they make setting spray. So when your face doing all this allergic stuff, you still set. Still set. Okay? So remember all those scriptures because they just encompass the message real nice. All right, now let's get into this practical application because we got to check to see what you're avoiding. You got to ask yourself 3 questions. What have I been distracting myself from? Where have I been staying busy to avoid feeling something? And what emotions have I never fully processed? Okay, then you got to get into practicing stillness. So you need to sit for some time with no stimulation. That means no phone, no TV, no people, no meetings, no nothing. You got to let whatever thoughts pop into your head, like just surface without trying to push them away. Let them hit the top, and then write down what comes up honestly, even if it makes you uncomfortable or cry or whatever. Just sit with those feelings. And then the healing step is to name one thing you've been avoiding emotionally and bring it to God in prayer. Okay? And this is not going to fix it instantly, but it's to acknowledge it and to let yourself sit in the truth of what's going on. Because a lot of times we won't sit with the uncomfortable emotion, and then we'll bring it to God in prayer and think that we're going to wake up the next day feeling fantastic. You're probably not going to feel fantastic the next day. You're probably still going to feel the pain and the hurt of the situation, but that's all good. That's part of healing, is feeling. So being busy can delay healing just as much as denial can, but neither one allows you to face what's actually there. So drop one thing in the comments that you might have realized that I'm avoiding this. Tell me about it. And next video, we will talk about how wholeness changes everything you create, because healed people build better. All right? Like, share, subscribe, save, do all the things. This was a short video today, and I think I might be on time for work. Look at this. Period. All right, I want y'all to have a great day. Bye.